What's your thoughts around the whole paleo thing going on out there?
Paleo. How many times have been asked this already? Paleo.
Sorry.
There's some good stuff about paleo. It's talking about wholesome, natural foods. You know, wild meat is part of it. Remember, the whole thing about paleo is eat like a caveman. So only eat what you hunt and gather. I mean, recently as Easter, somebody said, hide the Easter egg, so you have to hunt and gather the Easter egg.
I like
suddenly
it.
They're in
it's
paleo.
suddenly paleo now.
So paleo can get bent around a bit. And the thing about that is, like, kangaroo. I eat kangaroo, you know, I don't mind eating that. It's lean. And that would fit in with paleo because it's a wild animal. But things like chicken that's farm raised, anything that's grown by agriculture, like wheat, is not in paleo. But if you look back at records, anthropological records, you find out that we do have ancestors that ate grains as well. So there's not the strong evidence for the full-on paleo, but if you want to do paleo with grains, whole grains with fibre and cereals, and you want to do it with dairy for calcium and vitamin D, unless you're intolerant to those things, that's going to be your best nutrient mix. So paleo adjusted.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
I know. I get a lot of people asking me the question as well, and I kind of say, well, the way is paleo-esque,
Paleo-esque.
but it's not strict or pure. Like, I still have bread every now and again.
Most of it's natural stuff. The key is the balance, and I think what people can do wrong is when you start renovating your own diet, you start doing change, you build on a bit of a sunroom, or you take the roof off it. That's changing your diet. You can end up with a dodgy renovation. Do it smart, make sure you get your nutrients.
Yeah. I mean, how do you eat? Can you give me a rundown on what you have?
Philosophy, nutrient-rich energy sparse, which basically means getting the most number of nutrients out of your food, the least number of calories. So that keeps your calories down, but within moderation. I mean, you probably heard of cheat meals. Now, I gotta say, I'm not the fan of cheat meals.
I'm not either. I want to hear your...
High five.
Thank you.
There you go.
But there's a rationale in the language around it. Tell me your thoughts.
I know.
Tell me your thoughts.
Well, cheat for me means I'm cheating, I'm bad. And
I know. So immediately there's an emotion attachment to that.
Relax now. Friday night, you want to order Thai because you've been on your plan all week, you've been doing your workouts. You want to relax on a Friday night, why don't you call it a relax meal? And then you enjoy it a lot more. But the funny thing is, some people will start relaxing Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday, Sunday night. Suddenly they've got 4 days of relaxation. Do the math, that's only 3 days on their plan.
Yeah.
It's not compatible, is it?
No.
So it's got to be accountability in there too, and you know how that works, definitely.
I couldn't agree more with you. I just find that as soon as you structure a cheat meal, I've heard people say cheat days, then they're just hanging for that time, and then they just go crazy over it. Where people say to me, oh, well, if you don't agree with cheat meals, then does that mean you don't have any, you know, foods that you would technically deem as not in your diet normally?
Well, you can have those. I mean,
but I just go, oh, well, I'm going out with my friends tonight. I'm going to enjoy maybe a little more than I normally would, but it's a once in a blue moon.
But when you do that, you're going to have people thinking, you shouldn't relax though. You know, you're not allowed to relax. You've got to do it all the time. And that's the pressure there, where it's so hard to teach people you can be relatively normal and have that balance, and it's okay. I mean, one reason for not stressing about food too much is cortisol. That's this hormone, the stress hormone, which when you stress, well, I'm not allowed to eat that, I've got to restrict it, or I've got to get to the gym all the time, I've got to flog myself, that stress hormone goes up, and that
can be restrictive.
Well, it sends you craving foods, it holds fat around the middle as well, so you've got to find moderation, but there's degrees of moderation. Once you learn about nutrition, you know, you feel confident, stress levels go down, the weight drops off.
Do you feel that we are not getting enough educational messages like this out to the general public, or do we need to get more of these kinds of messages out to the next generation?
Well, I think the young ones are getting it a lot more, you know, because they're seeing things on TV, they're getting these messages, it's out there, they're seeing the cooking shows. So maybe we're getting in touch with more of our cooking. But you know what, the whole food supply out there, I go into a service station the other day, and the checkout woman says, do you want to buy chocolate? And I say, no, I want to buy fuel. Yeah, that's what I'm here for. I'm not out of chocolate, I'm out of petrol. And even I think I'm like getting a t-shirt printed which says, do not offer me food. Food is everywhere, it is being pimped to us. So unless you know how to manage your appetite, you know how to say no, you're probably going to have what we call this passive overconsumption.
But Matt, this is the thing. There's so many people that actually don't have that control button.
They don't. They don't. And you know, think of your upbringing. Your mum forced you to finish your plate. You were rewarded by grandma.
If you cried, you got rewarded.
You got a reward from that.
Come on, baby, it's okay.
So essentially, our whole appetite got hot-wired. You know, and I have people rate their hunger and fullness and that. And if you get ravenous, you've left it too late. But I think what people have to be prepared to do is feel a bit hungry. And I think people have lost that feeling of hunger.
On my show, Biggest Loser, the contestants are like, it's almost like this. It's not quite, but it's almost like this. What is this feeling I'm feeling in my stomach?
It's so different.
My stomach is growling. What does this mean? I'm like, that's called hunger. That's the first time you've felt it in years.
When you actually feel hungry, you're burning fat. You're burning fat. I mean, some people push that to the extreme. You know, they might go, I'm not eating it, they starve themselves, and they switch off that whole hunger feeling, and that's bad. But a lot of us should feel hunger. You know, and I've been busy today. I've probably had a snack at lunch because I've been talking and presenting. That means my calories are down, so I can have a relax meal tonight. That's going to be good. But also I'm feeling hungry. Now I'm not going to freak out because I know I can deal with that. I don't need to go to the drive-through or that sort of thing.
Quick.
Easy peasy.
I could talk to him for 100 years and then some, but Matt, thank you so much for your time.
That might be volume 1.
Yeah, volume 1. I would love to put out to all of our viewers that if you have any questions that we might be able to possibly throw a few your way if you have the time to answer.
I never get sick of questions.
I
hope I've got good answers.
Yeah, you do. Sensible, which I think we're lacking somewhere in our nutrition side of our lives. Just common sense prevails, right?
But objective, you've got a kick in the pants as well.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Lovely.
Mwah. And if you've got any questions for this guru, please pass them through.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.